Hive of Truth carpet. I know y'all been waiting. I know y'all been excited. I know y'all been ready to hit play on your favorite podcasting platform. It is I, your girl, C Mom Loud. And of course, as always, I'm with my bestie.
Unique. I said unique. I was trying to, I was trying, I was trying to match the C, so I said yee. It's Unique Love, also known as Yaya. Hey y'all, I'm so excited to be back on the podcast. It's been a long time, but much needed
Yes,
rest.
yes, truly exciting. It's truly exciting. I've been waiting to get back in the studio to start recording again.
The air quotes.
Right, back in the mix and doing what we do best. Okay, talking,
Yeah.
having these conversations, and allowing the people to be involved in what we do. I love it. I'm glad to be back. I hope y'all glad to have us back. Okay.
Yes, girl. I'm excited too. I'm just like, I don't know. I feel like the break is necessary, but sometimes I'm like, dang, this felt like a long break.
It's long enough. It's long enough for me. It's just enough time. Okay, especially when
Just
you got a lot of things going on, a lot of things you got to do when you traveling and when you work full time, and you got to give that time to your friends and your family and yourself.
yeah.
So
Especially
the
when you're a plant mom, gotta take care of my baby.
I'm definitely not a plant mom. I actually have a picture of a plant that I sit in a pot. That's how I do.
Oh my god.
I painted a picture of a snake leaf and I sit it in the pot.
Oh
It'll
my
never
god.
die.
Well,
I
we
never gotta water
we gonna have to do better.
it. Perfect plant.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Well, we are in our oh my god, fifth season. That's crazy. Shout out
It
to us.
is. Yeah. Back to all the way back to 2020 when we didn't know what we was doing.
At
Okay.
all.
We just going with the flow, figuring out along the way, and here we are, still loving it, still doing the damn
I'm
thing.
loving it. She sips her drink.
I had to sip it off camera because I don't need nobody saying she not doing no
Free promo, free promo.
right. I'm not doing no free promo. Let me go take another one. So until there's some paid promo, whatever I'm sipping is gonna be unknown. Okay,
Yeah.
it's not an alcoholic beverage though. I promise.
I don't really. So for people who are new to our podcast, we typically start out with a check in, but I feel like that's kind of that will be in the icebreaker part. But I guess I could say what I've been doing recently.
Yeah.
Y'all, I quit Pilates. Oh my god! If you know me, if you follow me on social media, I love Pilates, but um, it's expensive. When I like saw how much I was paying with the discount, it was like two something per month that I was paying, and then like, oh, if you love Pilates, if you get the benefits, da da da, it's not that much. But like I was racing from work because I don't work in the same state that I have Pilates in that I live in. So like, and if you miss the Pilates class, you have to pay the fee for missing the class, even though you paid for the membership. So I would be racing down the highway or like trying to get there or trying to schedule times that make sense, and it just seemed like all over the place. So that and trying to save money this year, well, not trying. I am going to save money this year, which would be that Pilates money. So I had to
Mm-hmm.
cancel Pilates, and I also canceled Planet Fitness because there is a gym closer to my home, and I will be able to go to this gym in any location opposed to Planet Fitness. I quit that because there was no parking. So I would be like, oh well, during the day I know people working downtown, so I can't go because there's no parking. It's like all these things. So yeah, I'm hoping to not hoping, let's take that back out. I am getting into a new gym rhythm this year, and I'm going to make it like be more fluid, I guess, because I will be able to walk to my gym if I don't want to drive, or like it's literally right there. It's right there. So that's what's been going on lately. Hopefully I can get some skating. I've not gone since before we went to Jamaica. So
Oh
October
wow.
was the last time I went to a skate class. So I know it's gonna be like starting all over. Had therapy last week, canceled that out. So because I don't need it as frequently. So and I also noticed it was my therapy sessions was interfering with brunch or interfering with skating because it was in the middle of the day at 12. So I had to run out of the skating rink, hop in my car, and have therapy, or get to the brunch place an hour early to have therapy and then go into brunch. So it's kind of weird, but I'm just in a place where I'm figuring things out. I know we usually start off the top of January with our goals and everything, but shoot, I'm letting it be. If I need to sleep in, which means, it's not January right now, it's March, and I'm still figuring things out, but who's to judge? Only but the
Hey,
woman
look,
above.
you can start over in spring. You can start your birthday. Like what year is truly the year that you want to consider the beginning of your year?
Shoot, every day is a new start for me.
Shoot.
Every day is day one for me in the gym.
I'm here. I made it. I literally with somebody today. I was talking to my Lyft driver.
Hmm.
We were just talking about how some days you just wake up and you figure this is the day I'm going to do this. I might not be able to do all of it, but at least I'm taking the baby steps towards doing something that I want to do. Because you can't do everything all at once, especially when you start looking at the list of things that you want to accomplish. You got to break those big accomplishments into those smaller steps in order for you to reach it. So just taking it one day at a time, taking it one step at a time, but also giving yourself grace for the goals that you're trying to reach. You
Yes,
don't
girl.
need to rush to get there. Amen. You don't need
Hey,
to rush to
girl.
get there.
Yeah. But I do really need
um,
to put my skates on though, because you and my mom
no,
paid
for
some
real.
good money for those skates.
Right. Shoot, I've been thinking about my skates too. But for me, like just to check in real quick, like I am trying to be more intentional with my health. Like, not to say like I'm an old lady, anything like that. Like, I ain't got no respiratory issues. But in regards to my health, it's only what February now that we're recording this. I've been sick twice this year. Twice, and twice to the point where it's like I don't know what's going on with my body. Of course, as we get older, our body tends to do different things, and different signs for different things aren't what they used to be. So like I felt this before, but not like this. So it's
Yeah.
like like an added pain or an added symptom to something that you would usually get. So I'm like, is this a sinus infection? It feels like a sinus infection. But oh no, is it COVID? Oh Lord. So like just having to rule all these things out. So the reason why I'm trying to be more intentional with my health in regards to what I eat and what I put into my body, just to making sure that I want to get sick less often. The fact that I was sick back to back, it was just kind of like, okay, hold on. Now I
Mhm.
know like stress can add into those things when your body starts to get weary,
We're gonna
and
talk
break
about that.
down. Right, you have to listen to your body. But even aside from that, like with the weather changing and like the way that you dress, like just different things like that. So I just want to be more intentional with how I'm taking care of myself to
Hmm.
avoid me being sick more often, because I don't like it. I don't like it, and it's only so many days that I keep taking off work because I'm sick.
Right. We need to have
So
a doctor on our podcast to talk with them or something, because
yes,
you know what
absolutely.
I've been going through.
Yeah, because it's like, okay, I'm taking these vitamins, I'm eating this way, but like also like I also want to get more into like what are like natural remedies that I could do to remain healthy. So yeah, because being sick ain't it. And some
Mm-mm.
things I can't even avoid, especially since I got allergies. Every time the season changes, something come up, and the allergies always
Right.
pop up different. Like, so I want to avoid that at all costs, because I can't keep going to urgent care either. Those bills start to rack up, because at first I
Yeah,
didn't think I had to pay nothing, and they sent me a bill. I said, "Why don't y'all just charge me while I'm there? Don't
right.
surprise me with a bill in the mail."
Speaking of that, I went to urgent care because my chest pain and all that other stuff, and my copay was $30. I had a feeling that my copay changed this year. They sent me a bill in the mail for $10. They want their money. They are not playing.
The same thing
Shoot.
happened with my dermatologist. They was like, "You owe $10." I said, "Y'all couldn't tell me this when I was there, but
Right. Or extra
let me go ahead
update
and
my
give y'all $10." I'm like,
right.
"Insurance, we need to talk."
They will send you a bill for 5 cents. They want their money.
Because I'm like, even though the copay changed, the difference of what I'm paying is what my old copay was. So why did we change the copay if I'm still paying what I was paying before? But
We
that's a
need to
story for another day.
Yeah, we need to talk to doctors. We need to talk to insurance policies, all of them.
Yes,
Ridiculous.
health insurance companies.
Insurance.
Who work in
And
health
I'm
insurance?
myself because I'm gonna stop myself.
That part. All right, you ready to run it down?
Yes.
All right, so as you know, this is season 5, episode 1. And for those of you that don't know, what I'm about to do for you right now is run it all the way down so you know what's happening in this here episode. So, first up, we're going to have our icebreaker. We let loose a little bit. You know, and we're going to be talking about two roses and two thorns from 2023. Then we're heading over into Sweet 223, where I'm going to be giving y'all a little masterpiece, some poetry to get your ears ringing in this poetic direction. And then heading on over into the calf, we are going to be talking about our big subject for today, which is burnout. How do you recognize the signs? What do you go through with burnout? How to avoid burnout, how to get through it. We are talking all about it because whether it's work, whether it's family, we all do things where at some point we just don't know how to get it right. We got to slow down. All right.
All
Then
right.
heading on over into our dorm story segment, I'm going to be sharing a story about someone who had burnout and how they got through it. And then, if you stay tuned all the way until the very end, you'll be tuning in to the announcement segment, also known as the community news. There is something for everyone, so you do not want to miss that. So stay tuned all the
Yes.
way through. You feel me? Yeah. I did a rundown in a minute. That felt
Sounds good.
good. All right, and without further ado, we are going to head over into the icebreaker.
Yeah. Okay, y'all. So it's 2024. I still don't have a theme song for this segment, but maybe I'll come up with one by the next episode. But just like you heard in the campus rundown, Moni and I are going to be talking about our roses and our thorns of 2023. And if you've never watched the Kardashian show or you've never been in the class where they talk about roses and thorns, basically you talk about the beautiful part, like the really, really happy, beautiful part of the year or whatever the day, whatever you want to talk about. And then the thorn is like things that may have hurt you or may have not felt so good or looked so great during that day, year, whatever you're talking about. But we are talking about 2023. So we're gonna give two each, two roses. Which when I'm saying roses, because you know the rose and the thorn, it's the whole thing. But like the rose, like the petals. So we're gonna give two rose petals and two thorns each. So I guess I'll do one, you do one, I do one, you do one.
All right, we'll do that. We'll do that back and forth.
I actually want to start with my thorn.
Okay,
So one thorn
stick it
when
to me.
one thorn of last year was the theme of loss.
Mm,
So it's been a thing since the pandemic. Every year since 2020, I've lost a grandparent. I lost first my great grandfather, then my maternal paternal grandma, then my mom's grandma, and then last year my like all of our great grandma, the matriarch of our family, and that hurt a lot. Like even like tears there and here and there. Like sometimes I'll just break down out of seemingly out of nowhere, but just like dealing with that loss was really, really tough. And then personally too, around that same time I dealt with the loss of my boyfriend. And it was just like hard carrying that. Oh my gosh, she's it was hard to like get through it all together because it was like simultaneously, like literally at the same time, which tells I said I wasn't gonna talk about him, but it's telling of that person too. Like my grandma passed away first, and then he break up with me too. Like even though with things going on is like quote unquote perfect timing. I'm doing air quotes because it's not perfect timing,
right.
but that was like really, really, really sour. And it happened around the anniversary of having lost my friend Boo Boo. So it's like mentally at that time of year, I'm preparing myself to have to, like please don't get overwhelmed with the anniversary of that, and then this happens, and then that happens too. So that was like the worst thorn, the most difficult thorn that I had to deal with last year.
Mm, yeah. Loss is never easy. Something that you gotta grow through. Because from having lost myself, and I'm sure as some of our listeners understand as well, it's something that you take it day by day. Like we were saying
Right.
before, step by step, day by day, little by little. No, not that it necessarily will always be easy, but it does get better. It gets
It's
better.
giving Whitney Houston, step by step, day by day. Do you want to give your thorn, or you want me to do my rose?
I can do a thorn. So, one of my thorns is the fact that I did not skate at all. Not only did I not skate, I didn't look at the skates. I didn't open the box. I'm sure it's collecting dust. I'm gonna have to blow the dust off of it. 2022. One of my goals was to put them skates on some more. Start taking some lessons. There was a new rink that opened in Brooklyn near me, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna start going there. Never even went to the venue.
Mm,
Like, so for me, it's just kind of like, dang, I didn't even attempt to um put any effort towards that goal. So it made me a little disappointed in myself because I was so excited. I bought the skates, but it's not like it's something that can't be done. I did do a lot last year, but it's just the
yeah,
fact that I know there are moments where I could have made the time to do the thing. It was just a lot of moments where it's just like I don't feel like doing it. Kind of like how the gym is. But I want to make more of an effort to truly like put them things on and get to rolling because I don't have them just to have them to put them on display. I actually
right.
want to perfect my skill of skating. So um, not anytime soon, most likely in the spring when it starts to warm up a little bit, but I'm definitely going to try to go at least once a month to a lesson and then also just for fun. So like twice a month. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll check in later, see how that goal is going come springtime.
Mhm. Yeah, so my role, your thorn is my rose. Even though it wasn't as frequent, because again, expenses, right? Like, yeah, we have the skates, but you still have to pay to get into the rink. And I go outside, to the basketball court, volleyball court, something like that. But it's not the same because the leaves and the little sticks and stuff
Hmm.
in a way, so it's not as smooth or as fast as the skating rink. But anyway, like the expense is like 20 something dollars for the lessons, and then about that same price because the prices went up to go during regular time, and then people going faster during that time, so it's kind of scary. But anyway, my rules was that I at least took a few classes to get out of that fear. I fell, bust my butt, like I finally fell. So
Busting
I'm not
wide open in the tell bring it back.
I
Sorry.
finally got, they typically say once you fall then you won't be afraid or nervous anymore, but it just felt good to actually learn how to turn around, like, and learn how to go backwards. Even though I look funny because I'm going look real slow, at least I can say I can do it. So that's one of my roses from last year.
So one of my roses was all the traveling I did. At first, my roses was going to be every place that I went, but I decided to combine them all because one of my main goals on my vision board for
Mhm.
2023 was to travel, and I did a lot of traveling. My top places was started in New Orleans for my birthday. Did a cousin trip in Miami. Went to Alaska with my mom, my
Yeah.
aunts, my grandmother, and my cousin. Went to Jamaica. My friend got married. Then went to Bali for my sister's birthday. Brought in the new year with peace, tranquility, just a full blown essence of just calmness. Like my year started off well and it ended well. So I literally did more traveling than I expected to, but I'm so grateful for every single experience that I had when I was traveling. I was just like, I can't imagine not traveling. So I already have my list of places where I want to go. I did say for 2024 I'm going to take a pause because I want to save more money, which is a part of my thorn. um but I just want to focus on saving more money towards different things that I want to do. But traveling is still definitely high on my list, and I will be getting back into it, like at least traveling out of the country in 2025. So for this year, I might still do like a little road trip or something, or someplace that's not too far or too expensive. Because I
Yeah.
still like to have some relaxation and have some fun. But as far as big trips, I'm going to save for those and save for other things this year.
Okay. That's yeah, that's a really nice sandwich that you had. You know, you said you started great at the beginning of the year and ended the year off well.
Hmm.
So that sounds really good. And your pictures looked really, really nice from both of your well, I'm saying both because the trip that I wasn't a part of, aside from Florida, is what I'm thinking about. Those were really, really peaceful looking uh pictures, and I know that you did have a great time because I spoke with you about them. You know, because people say people go on trips often and like you'll see them on social media and like, oh my god, it looks like a great time, but when you hear their stories it's like, oh, you had a hard time. So I try not to like envy or be jealous of people's
Hmm.
trips, but yours, Alaska and Bali looked really, really amazing.
Yeah,
uh
it was amazing. If you have not gone, y'all, please put Bali on your bucket list for traveling. It is an
okay, I will.
experience that you will not regret. I'm planning to go back. Most probably next year I'm gonna go back.
Nice. Thorn. My thorn was just getting tired of myself, sounding like a broken record of the goals that I had for myself. I won't get specific on this podcast because I don't want pressure from anyone else. I just want to do it myself. But just like continuously saying, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to, well, do it. Like that was having like those voices in my head
Come on,
yelling at each
Nike.
other. Yeah, so it was like, okay, I need to actually get myself together. What will be my smaller steps in order to get to those bigger steps? Who do I need to talk to? What do I need to do in order to make these things happen? So I'm praying that I get myself together and actually make these things either come to fruition for a point, or at least by the end of this year or maybe fall this year, I can at least say I made the steps, opposed to in 2023 I ain't make no steps.
Hmm.
So it's either of those goals. Like I just kept talking, but it's like that's it doesn't sound good, doesn't feel good to sound like a broken record myself. So yeah, that's a thorn from last year.
Yeah, my thorn was not saving enough money. That's why I said it related to, yes, I traveled, yes, I had fun. And for those trips, I did save, but I didn't save outside of traveling. I didn't save enough. So I'm like, aside, like thinking about things that I want to do for the future, which is why I'm like, okay, 2024, the things
Hmm.
that I want to do 3, 5, 10 years from now, well, why don't I have a savings account for that? Like thinking about, like, granted, I'm not thinking about buying a house no time soon, but why am I not already saving money for that, knowing that one day
You
that's
want to?
something that I want to have? So like just starting putting money away for that, and truly having like a true emergency account. Like I got a little bit of money for emergencies, but just like truly like if something were to happen, if I lost my job or anything like that, like any type of crisis, I should have enough saved that I can at least sustain myself for a little bit. So like this year, I'm like truly focusing on like what savings actually means to me and being
Yeah,
more financially responsible. So I guess I can still have fun, but I'm more so into like what does my budget look like for me? How can I make it work for me? So I've already taken some things out of my budget that I no longer need, kind of replaced it with some things. But also trying out some new things for myself. So one thing that I am going to try, I am trying a washing service for my clothes,
okay.
um, because
Ooh,
that's
this is
just
good
one
for this
thing.
topic too. Yeah.
It's just one thing in my life. It takes the way that I have to, it takes a lot of time to like just to go because I don't have washing in my building. I miss being spoiled and have washing in my building. I can't wait till I have it again. The convenience of it, having to pack my things and take it there, and then it's a lot. And I just wish if I could just throw my clothes in, sit down, watch TV, like something like that. So like
Yeah.
I'm readjusting my budget for things that are convenient for me that I can afford. Probably not, every week, but at least once a month if I could put $50 towards having somebody else fluff and fold, wash, all of that, absolutely. Like that's the luxury, the type of luxury that I want to have. Somebody washing my clothes, especially when I have a lot.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, because I only wash about twice a month anyway, every other week. So if I can have
Mm,
that one big load that I can give to them, absolutely. Like I've taken nails out of my budget. I don't get my nails done as often anymore. I like the amount that I paid for that, half of that can go towards to washing. So just thinking about stuff like that as far as budgeting, just changing my life around a little bit for things that like I really know will benefit me and things I'm like, I really don't need that. Let's have the special occasion. I got savings for like special time, like special me time, something
Yeah.
like that. So being more intentional about how I want to be financially responsible.
If you're watching the video on Spotify or YouTube or wherever else that may be out by the time this podcast is out, I'm making faces because I was just talking about my nails. I've taken like a year, I think it's been. So that extra money did feel good, but now I think I want to get back into nails.
See, you
Because
just
the
got to
press ons,
readjust that budget.
yes, because the press ons were not doing it for me. Like I remember I was handing the paper towel. I was trying to grab a paper towel roll from my friend. Nail slid down the roll. I pull up my pants. My nail popped off the thing. I'm like, I woke up. You know how you wake up and press on your pillow or something like that. I pressed off. Like
Hmm.
I can't do these press ons. So yeah, but I feel and hear what you're saying because I don't know. It's just so many bills. You got student loans, you got rent, you got all these
Yes.
things that you have to pay for. Plus, trying to hang out with friends is expensive. So
Hmm.
I've gotten to a point where, like, speaking with my friends, like, hey, I can't go and hang out with y'all all these different weeks. Like, y'all want to be friends too, so we could go out together and just bust it out at one time. Like this because it's expensive. So,
Yeah.
just budgeting and seeing what account doesn't work. Like, I don't need a Netflix account because my mom got one. So I
Hello. Where we cut down on expenses.
right. And then because I got Verizon, I got this package where I got Disney. I got the Disney package and Hulu. So you just use my password. Like, what? You could be my friend, so we could be friends, and we could all be friends and save some money.
Hmm.
Even though they got this
Absolutely.
whole if you're not in the house thing, whatever. But that's a different topic for a different day. But I definitely get the budgeting thing. I was just making that face because I miss getting my nails done. So maybe next time y'all see me, I'm probably gonna have something on my nails.
I got one more rose, right? I think.
That's why I was wondering. Did I think I did my only roles was the skating. So I was wondering that too. So yeah, we do have another roles, but you can go
Yes. All
first
right.
because you ready.
So my second rose was just completing uh my first year as a full-time teacher. So for those of you that do not know, I am a teacher. I teach film, middle school students, fifth through eighth grade,
Best friends with it.
all all four grade levels. But the reason why it's a rose for me because I learned so much about myself. I learned so much about patience. I learned so much about how to build my curriculum. I learned how to give myself grace. Learned new methods of being a teacher because I came from an after school world where it's so much different than actually like being a full time teacher and having to grade and put so many other different things on my plate. I'm used to going from one school to the next school, like to being at three different schools a day, teaching three different types of programs. So it feels good not only to be teaching my own program that I'm building from the ground up, but just having this experience overall is really amazing to me. Like I never intended to be a teacher. If somebody asked me, I never saw a teacher was never on the list of things that I saw myself doing as a career. But being in it and now doing it, I can see my purpose as to why I am here doing what I'm doing. So I'm just like, I love this. I love what I do. I love my kids. As much as a headache they may be sometimes, but they're kids. So yeah, I really love what I do, and I'm appreciative of being able to give the opportunity to have something in schools that I did not have. Like that's my why. So I'm like that. I'm so excited, and I'm in my second year. My second year about to come to a close soon. Soon, so now it's gonna be soon to
Aw.
be second year done.
Yeah, that's so good. I'm proud of you and your accomplishment and getting through the year, dealing with the children. But I see how happy you are when they share their projects with the school. That and the step team and the dance team, like you really even though you be tired and it's a journey, but you get that reward at the end of each semester, trimester. I forgot what the kids call it, but each term you get that
Yeah,
reward. So
trimester, semester,
mester,
what the mester.
yeah, the mess, the mester. My other roles comes to mind because it started off as an annoying thorn at the beginning of the year last year where like I tend to at the end of the year, beginning of the year, think of things that I want to do for myself travel wise. So I'm like, oh, this is I want to go to Egypt, I want to go to Texas, I want to go like these places. And then I start to get invites from other people or word from other people of, oh, I want to go to this place, I want to go to this country, I want to do this. And then I push my list to the side and I'm like, well, this person has a date and I don't. Like that's the reason why I pushed it. Like, because I don't have a date when I want to go to Egypt, but I know I'm saving for Egypt. But then I
Hmm.
took my saved money to go celebrate this person's birthday or go to do this with this person, and then I'll beat myself up for it, or I'll be upset because it's like, here's another year that I'm doing that. So last year felt good because um I got to go to San Francisco. Like I, put everything aside. Like I'm not gonna put myself in a predicament too. This was another thorn of every time my birthday comes around, where are the people? I know people are there, but it feels like I get a lot of no's, or feel like I get a lot of, oh, I'm not available around that time for my birthday. That's the response I get. But when it's their birthday, I'm there. Like, so it's like last year I didn't put myself in that situation. I just listen. I'm just gonna go away with my mom because I didn't want to go by myself. I'm not
Hmm.
ready for a solo trip like that yet to an unfamiliar place. But I just paid for me and my mom to go to San Francisco, which has been a place that I've been wanting to go to for years. And I had a really, really great time. It was just nice to get text messages from people to wish me happy birthday, opposed to sitting at a bar or sitting at a restaurant and being grateful for the people that's there, but still wondering. It's honest. I still wonder, like, dang, well, where's Alicia? I feel safe saying that name because I don't know anybody named Alicia. Where are all these people? So I don't have to worry about people who aren't there if I didn't ever invite anyone to do anything for my birthday. Um, and then yeah, speaking of saving, I would like, I know my birthday's coming up, or I know this is coming up. Let me look at what I have there. Now I'm like, I know my mom wants to go to Paris, so I'm saving for that. And I know I want to go to this
Ooh,
place.
wee wee. Make sure you take me so I can order me a croissant en français. Okay? Okay, I'm
Yeah.
248 days in on Duolingo.
Well,
So
you let
by
me
the
know
time
about Morocco because Morocco's on my list. I sent you my list, so
that's for the 35th, so I'll send you the details.
Morocco. Oh, and then Jamaica was good last year too because I wanted to go last year to Jamaica. So Tracy's wedding was perfect because it was like, okay, I get to go to your wedding and go to
Yep.
Jamaica in one hit. So I wasn't bothered by that. But yeah, just I always have I gotta put me first in my head regarding everything. Like, yeah, I would love to go to this trip with you, but I already been for the last 2 years been thinking about this trip. I gotta, you know.
Hmm.
That
Absolutely.
was my roles
I
for
gotta
last
put
year.
me first. I
Yeah,
gotta
it felt
put me
really good
first.
to go to San Francisco. So yeah, that's the end for me for my Roses and Thorns and Moni's Roses and Thorns. So we
Yes,
are
I like
done
that.
with our icebreaker, and that means we're gonna move on to our next segment, which is
Sweet 223, the poetry suite. Hey y'all, welcome to the Sweet 223 segment where you will hear poetry every single time from either Yaya or I or a guest poet. Today you're going to be listening to moi. I'm going to be giving you a piece that I've been practicing that's newly written. Um, that I'm trying to memorize. It's untitled as of now, but it's a new piece, so I want to know if y'all rocking with it. Let me know in the comments if you like it. All right, here we go. It's times like this I wish you didn't exist. Wish we had never met so I wouldn't have to feel this emptiness. Because by your lack of communication, and instead of giving a dissertation explaining how I feel, I choose to conceal my truth because I know I can't stay mad at you. But even if we weren't in each other's lives, somewhere along the line, our stars would still align, and we'd still be staring in each other's eyes, and I feel like everything would be okay. But in the absence of your presence, parts of me feels neglected, and no presence can fix this. So I'm ready to move on. While my other oh so forgiving half sees the best in you, now I don't know what to do. Am I tripping? How should I handle this? On speed dial, I need my therapist to talk me off this anxious ledge, take a few steps back to clear my head so I'm not irrational. Tap into my logical so this all makes sense. But shit, I can't remember the last time I felt like this. Or if I even had this feeling before my healing. But wait, am I actually healed? My secrets and trauma concealed in a box that you have to unlock, yet you don't have the key. Damn, now I'm starting to think it's me. So here I stand, allowing words to escape my mouth, roll off my tongue, all while feeling numb to what I really want to say. Might as well win Best Actress for this play. What's wrong with me? This started off about you, now I'm revealing things about me, and you're wondering if it's true, but since we're on the subject, let's get back to the narrative. of how I feel unappreciated when your response should be imperative. Still sound like we're talking about me? Then maybe I should start talking about we. As smart as I was in school in this concept, I'm receiving a D. Matter of fact, let's just say F, so your mind stays on track, because I didn't even mean it like that. Sex is unrelated to my mission. Yes, my lips are great, but stop thinking about kissing. Remember, I didn't want you here, wishing we didn't meet? Didn't think I'd have to repeat, but I'm glad your mind is clear. So, my lips are continue parting. Yes, I feel as if I haven't said anything. Now I've made it complicated. I really need my therapist to assess my reasoning. Wait, let me remember to breathe. This anxiety is a bitch. I've rambled off all these words and still haven't said shit. So let me just get to the point. Wait. Maybe I should just hit this joint. Okay, I admit now I'm getting sidetracked. I'm avoiding what you already know is truth. The due date has passed for what I really need to say. Damn, I gave you a dissertation anyway. That is the piece.
Oh my gosh, it's so good because it's like so relatable and it's like my mind is here, but it's here and I'm trying to say this, but I'm saying this and what the it's like when I start saying talking and I'm like long story short, well I already just told the whole story. So
Right.
oh my god. That was really good. And I feel like I don't even have to ask what the inspiration is because it's like dating relationships. Like what are we doing? What are we doing? What have we done?
I want to
What have
say
we
this. Is it too
done?
soon to say this? I want to be like, welcome to my anxiety. Like, welcome to what my mind goes through when I want to say something, but there's another part. Listen to the two sides of me talking to each other.
Yeah. Or
Yes,
you
girl. Nah, girl.
trying to make sense of what's happening. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm still going through it, so it's like really hard to put a pin or put a like make sense of what I'm experiencing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you're talking out loud, but you're talking to yourself at the same time. So why am I talking
Exactly.
to you when I haven't really thought it through yet? Ooh.
Woo, why am I talking to you when I really haven't thought it
Yeah.
through? Okay, come on, loud thoughts. No,
Yeah.
but yeah, so it's a new piece that I've been working with, and I'm actually really proud of this because it's been a minute since I wrote a piece, and I love the fact that when creativity comes out of nowhere, I actually I think I discovered this piece. I was just going through my phone looking through my notes, and I
Hmm.
had the first four lines, and I was just like, let me just try to. And then as I was started going, I just started adding to it, and it turned into something else. And I was like, I like this. Let me start sharing this one. It's been a minute, so the
Yeah.
creativity been flowing as of late. So I'm proud to be back into doing something that I love. I can't remember the last time I actually wrote a piece and finished it. So that felt nice.
Yeah. It's always a good feeling too when it comes out fire. Like, ooh, like sometimes when I know this is about you, but let's make this about me. Like sometimes I look at poems and I'm like, yo, I really wrote this. Like it's so good. I remember sharing a poem with someone. Ooh, sorry. If y'all watching, I moved my camera by mistake. Um, and they're like, Yanni, because some people make up names for me. Yanni, you wrote this? Like, no plagiarism, no nothing. Like, no. I mean, yeah, I wrote this and it's good, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
God has blessed you with such a talent, and I really enjoyed the poem that you just shared with me. So, well, with us, because people are listening. But thanks for sharing that poem.
Yeah, I look forward to perfecting it and performing it. So don't be surprised if y'all hear this again. It might end up being one of your favorite pieces. You're like, oh, I love when she do that one. Yep, that's right. And y'all heard it here first.
Yes,
Period.
and I love those too because people like memorize it too, so you hear the crowd saying the lines with you.
Mm-hmm.
I've not experienced that firsthand. I look forward to it, to doing that, like
Yeah,
having
that'll be
a poem
dope.
that's like a crowd favorite.
Absolutely.
But good job, Moni. Thanks for
Thank
sharing your
you.
poem. And now we are gonna head over to our next segment, which
Which
is the
is,
hot topics.
girl, for a second, I'm like, I know we've been on a break, but did you forget that you gotta sing? I thought you forgot the
Yeah,
tune. Where's the music? Okay.
hot topics.
Yes, it's time to head on over into sweet
No, it's not.
oh my god, the hot topic. We literally just said it and my brain
You break that.
ignore me, y'all. We headed to the hot topics.
Hey y'all, we're in. Why do I always flap my hands like I'm a bird? If you're
Flap
watching,
your wings. Flap your wings. Go ahead, flap your wings. Flap your wings.
Talking about flapping, pass me a fan because today's topic is burnout.
Ooh, I like how you did that. Come on, transition into conversation.
Transition, yes, to the conversation. We are talking about burnout. The reason why we felt like this was a good topic is because last year it was happening so frequently. And, at the top of the year, you try to figure out how you're going to work out through the next year to combat the things that you struggled with last year. So, shout out to Moni for coming up with this topic that we're going to talk about today.
Mm-hmm.
So we like to start when we do quote unquote research for topics, and we're not talking about our lives or other people's business. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
we like to start off about the definition of what that topic is. So burnout is defined as a state of emotional, physical, and mental exhaustion caused by excessive and prolonged stress. It occurs when you feel overwhelmed, emotionally drained, and unable to meet constant demands. As the stress continues, you begin to lose the interest and motivation that led you to take on a certain role in the first place. And this definition comes from a site called helpguide.org. So, yeah, that's what burnout is defined as. So it's basically you're stressed, but for a long time, and you can feel these signs in different mediums. So the next thing that we're going to talk about are the signs of burnout. Moni, you want to share how do you know when you're burnt out?
Yes, so there are different types of signs that you can realize that you are feeling burnout from physical, emotional, and behavioral. So, starting off with physical, you have a feeling of being tired and drained most of the time. Low,
Relatable.
you say what?
Relatable. Yes, girl.
Lowered immunity, frequent illness. Hello, frequent headaches or muscle pain, change in appetite or sleep habits. Okay. Now,
Hmm.
also, as I'm reading this, you might notice that these signs are similar to these symptoms are similar to signs and symptoms for other things as well. So when you're taking note of how you're feeling in your body, you should also, make sure that you check in to make sure that it's not a sign of something else. All right.
Hmm.
So your emotional signs and symptoms of burnout: sense of failure and self doubt, feeling helpless, trapped, and defeated, detachment, feeling alone in the world, loss of motivation, increasingly cynical and negative outlooks, decreased satisfaction and sense of accomplishment.
Hmm.
And then closing out with behavioral signs and symptoms, we have withdrawing from responsibilities, isolating from others, procrastinating, taking longer to get things done, using food, drugs, or alcohol to cope, taking frustrations out on others, and skipping work or coming in late and leaving early.
So can I say something? One of the
Yeah.
ones you said was isolating from others. I
Hmm.
I did want to just add in, well, actually, all the symptoms, like Moni said, these could be symptoms for other things, but also if you know that you're a hermit, like you're always liking to be by yourself or things like that, or you frequently procrastinate, or you frequently have headaches. It may not, that doesn't mean that burnout is the thing for you. It's just if these things are not your norm, then it could be a sign that, like, hey, this thing is kicking in now. I'm not normally like this. Maybe I should take a step back and find out, is it burnout or not.
Yeah, because sometimes also like the differences, like burnout and stress,
Yeah.
and figuring out like what's really going on with me. Am I depressed? Am I having anxiety? Is this like a symptom of something else? A part of my ADHD? Who knows? There's so many different ways, but you have to know you and your body in order to understand like what's going on with you at certain periods of time.
So speaking of you, we want to know we want to share about ourselves. How do
Hmm.
we know that we are particularly burnt out? I'll start with me.
Hmm.
I know I'm particularly burnt out because I feel very, very tired. I feel like, dang, I slept really well last night, but I'm so tired. Like I just want to lay down. I want to take a nap. I don't want to do anything. Regard like doing things like that I love, like shopping at Trader Joe's, or going to the gym, or like just doing things after work, if I feel like I can't do anything, I know I'm burnt out. I also know, I don't think this was one that was listed. I also know I'm burnt out because I said work when when intrusive thoughts come into my dreams. I'm dreaming about clients. I'm dreaming about people at work. I'm dreaming about sometimes I have dreams that I'm like in a car and I can't control it. That's one of like a frequent dream that I have. So I know maybe I'm overwhelmed or burnt out at this point. Um and my attitude. And adding that on top of being a Virgo is not good for my mom, Simone, or other friends, Simone, or other friends. So yeah, I feel like I become more of a bitch towards people in my life when I am burnt out. And these signs are. It took a while for me to notice for myself because, like, typically, like you just excuse things like, no way, I'm stressed. No way, I'm burnt out. I can handle work. I can handle friends. I can handle my relationship. Like you think you're so big and tough, and you like stress and anxiety and burnout and all these things can't uh comfort you in a sense, but it can. So it took a while for me to realize what these signs were for me and take ownership of them and actually be able to address them.
For me, I know for a fact that it's definitely frequent illness and immunity for me. My body starts to shut down and lets me know that something is wrong. I'm
Hmm.
super tired. Um, like even like with just a regular day, like this is something that I do normal. Why do I feel so tired? Why do I feel so drained? And sometimes I know for a fact that it comes from like when my personal life and my work life have a lot going on at the same time. Like usually it's like, yeah, personal here, work is here, or sometimes it might balance itself out. But when they both are heightened and I got to figure out multiple things at the same time and it's hard to balance them out, I start to get overwhelmed and my body starts to shut down. I'm
Yeah,
most likely not eating properly, probably not eating at all,
at all.
or forgetting to eat, which also goes into my lowered immunity. Um, so I'm running on water. Literally, I'm like, at least I remember to drink water, but like it's not enough to keep me fueled and to keep me going. And then there's also a lot of times where I have like a lack of motivation. Like when it comes to my writing, like sometimes like when I know like my creativity is just not what I know that it can be, it's just like that lack of motivation or even things that have to do with LoveLoudd. Like I get really excited when it comes to doing things for LoveLoudd. But I know if I sit in front of my computer and I'm just like, I don't feel like doing this right now. Let me just go ahead and go close my computer and take a nap. My nap turned into waking up the next day.
It does. I hate that she
So
does that, y'all. That's a line, girl. What the heck?
it's just yeah. And I often don't do it, but because I'm everybody knows me as the person like somebody asks me to go out, most likely I'm gonna say yes. Like I like to go out, I like to be around other people. But once I start like shutting down invitations, it's because I'm overwhelmed or like I need to be in the comfort of within myself in my own space and just feel like I need to get my life together. Me
Hmm.
going out and hanging out with other people, I don't feel like I'll be able to fully engage because my mind will be focused too much on all this other stuff that I left sitting on the table. And I need
Yeah.
to figure out like how am I going to get my life together to get these things done. So that's where it is for me. But that health one is at the top. And I honestly, when I was talking about it earlier, I realized that like I had personal and work, I had a lot to do, a lot to catch up on, especially when you coming from a break and you coming back from a break into the school building. So you got all these things that you got to do, and then yeah, it's just it was a lot. Plus the weather didn't help either. So
Yeah.
like the weather changing, it snowed and then the sun came out and then it rained and then like what is happening?
So we want to jump into how we typically respond when we become burned out. I think my response is based off of the symptoms. I can't say like, oh, all these things are happening, and I have one like I sit there like Beyonce meditating, and then everything is resolved. I think I manage based off of the symptoms. So
Mm,
if I'm tired, if I feel burnt out and that symptom is fatigue, then I typically try to listen to my body as much as I want to push through. You're just gonna be at the gym for 30 minutes, or just push through. You're only gonna drive to Trader Joe's and get this real quick. Like, no, my body is saying this. Trader Joe's could wait, the gym could wait. Like I really need to take a nap because the fear of being so tired and driving and then crashing, or literally crashing, or being at the gym and working my body too much or do the wrong thing because I'm fatigued. Now I sprained my ankle or did something, to that. So giving myself permission to rest. Sometimes that's the reboot that I need. I had to do that earlier this week. I'm like texting my friend, like, girl, I don't know if it's because I've been sick and maybe it's something really going on because I'm a hypochondriac. Sometimes my family and friends tell you that. But like, I'm like, is it because I've been sick that I feel tired? Because I know I've been sleeping. I slept the whole
Mhm.
Saturday away, like, duh, duh, duh. But it's really because the night before I didn't really sleep the whole night. And then also feeling like in my mind, is just so many things going on. So that was just one thing. If I feel like I am being a meanie towards my friends and family, then I've allowed for true friends and family members to let me know that I'm doing that. And it's kind of like it gives me a chance to self reflect. So I do some self reflection of, why am I doing this? Am I really mad at Simone? Did she do something? Or is this she's just my target? And I try to like analyze and just go through step like different things that's going on in my life. What's off? Oh, it's not Simone, it's this. And then try to like take a step back and just like look at the bigger picture of what's going on. Basically put myself in check. And I also allow my friends and family. Even though I get pushback, you can ask Moni, I get pushback, but at least that like kind of like puts it in my face, like, yeah, you're not acting like yourself. Are you okay?
Mhm.
And then I forgot what the other thing I was gonna say was, oh, when it's work related or when it's somebody else's attitude towards me, and I'm like taking that on, then I have to readjust. And sometimes I say, it's not me, it's that person. I'm not a Captain Save a Hoe, but I'm like I'm very empathetic. I'm very like um sensitive to myself and others, and I just like a sponge, like just take on other people's energy. So there's been like things that's going on that I'm like, what am I doing wrong? Like, is what that person's saying about me true? Like all these different things. So what's helped in that sense too is speaking to other people or reading like some books that helps to like help me deal with the things that I'm going through, the stresses that I'm having.
Mhm.
And sometimes you have to put into place like, maybe that person is not my friend. Or maybe
Mhm.
that person is going through their own thing and they're pouring it onto me. Or maybe like I'm playing this role, but I'm doing too many roles at one time. Let me just focus on the role that I'm supposed to be playing. For example, like I'm uh hmm, dang, I can't, it's hard to give an example and not say the real thing. But like if I'm managing the team and I see somebody's having relationship issues, I can't focus so much on managing the team and your relationship issues and your financial issues and all these things. I have to make sure I have my hat on right of being the managing the team well, because if I start focusing on those other things, it's like distractions that puts me off my game of being like managing the team. Like the football team is not going to be great if I'm worrying about your boyfriend drama and your financial drama and all this other stuff.
Yeah, that's
So
why they say in a lot of workspaces, like you got to leave your personal at the door when you come into the workspace. Granted, a lot of times it's easier said than done, but I've also had to learn like whatever I got going on outside of the building. When I come into work, I'm here to work so that I can be my best self, the best that I can possibly be. It might just
mhm,
be 90% today, it might be 85, but if I continue to focus on what I got going outside, that can easily turn into a 60. And I don't
right,
want my work to be affected by what I got going on outside of work.
hmm,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, which
How
brings
do
me,
you respond?
um, rest, honey.
Naps.
Yes. That is my top go to because, like I said, it's immunity for me a lot of the time, and I will turn down going out somewhere. I will be honest with my friends and be like, "Hey, it's been one of those weeks. I would love to go out with you. You know, I'm always down, but tonight is not the night. I'm going to sleep." Or I'm
Yeah.
going to cuddle up and binge watch my shows. I'm not looking at a computer. I'm putting my phone on do not disturb, and I'm most likely gonna fall asleep with the TV watching me. Okay, I need rest, and I usually sometimes I'm not able to recognize it, but I know when I wake up from the 12 hours of sleep, like damn, I slept real good, but I didn't realize I needed that much sleep. But I wake up feeling refreshed, and
Yeah.
sometimes recovering from the burnout, it's usually maybe like a day. Like, dang, all I needed was rest. I haven't been getting enough rest because I've just been running. I just
Mhm.
been running, doing what I need to do, going from this place to this place, trying to get this done, trying to get that done, trying to stay, trying to meet my deadlines with my personal things, paying these bills on time, but I got to meet these work deadlines to make sure that, I'm staying on top of what I need to do, make sure I do these
Juggling.
things for my family, like just trying to stay on top of everything, but not staying on top of my health, on top of myself, and realizing like I need to slow down, take a step back, and give myself rest. So I know when
Mhm.
I sleep like that and I wake up the next day, like yes, I feel refreshed, but it also helps me recognize like I have not been getting enough rest as I need to. So usually the rest is like a minor realization of it, but it's all my top my top go to when I really just need to decompress. The next one I usually jump towards just getting out my feelings. Like I've gotten into just like random journaling, just typing out like my frustrations of something and then like letting it be. Like
Yeah,
whatever's going
journal.
on in
Yaya
my
made me
mind.
journal.
Whatever's happening in my mind, just to release it so I don't have to call and explain nothing to nobody. I'll
Mhm.
just type it up in my phone, the thoughts that I'm thinking at that time, and then let it go, just so I can get it off of me. Because sometimes what I'm feeling in that moment is probably just because I'm pissed off, and I probably don't really need to be pissed off. It's probably because I'm feeling a certain way about one thing. Now I'm irritated about this, which in turn makes me irritated about this. Now you chewing with your mouth open, and I'm about to now I'm about to cut your head off when you always chew like that. It just seems louder today for whatever reason. So it's like a domino effect. Like I'm feeling this way about this thing. I didn't meet my deadline for this thing, and now it's trickling to other pieces of my life.
Mhm.
So I've started just journaling how I'm feeling in a moment about something, just so I can come back to it later to be like, did that feeling that I had in that moment, like was it justifiable?
Yeah.
And then like realizing like if it was to or about a certain person, like whether or not I should bring it up to them, or if it's something that what we can let this go.
Yeah.
So that's what I've started to do, and just finding ways to maintain my own peace, whether it's personal or at work. Um, Finding ways like throughout the day, like even at the school day when I have my breaks in between my classes, I will play my jazz music. All classes ain't perfect, all classes ain't pretty.
Mhm.
So after my classes, you will most likely hear some jazz music or some gospel playing to get me back right. And it works. It really does
Yeah.
work. I'll sit in my classroom with the lights off, have my jazz music playing. Like I'll still be doing some work on the side, but like it just helps me get my mind right in a space where I feel okay. To continue moving on with the day. So jazz
Mhm.
music and my gospel music is my the third like down the list to go through as far as um what I do. Yeah, the music helps. You
Yeah.
mind if I read a few causes of burnout in each category for work, lifestyle, and personality? See if you relate to any.
I don't mind, but I did want to share something before you read.
Mm-hmm.
Which because like I was saying earlier, sometimes I can be too proud to say I'm burnt out. I was remembering. Sorry, I'm fixing my camera, y'all. But I was remembering last year when I had an anxiety attack,
Mm.
and thank God I was home when it happened, but it was scary. And the only person that I felt safe enough to call before I did something I didn't want to do was Monie. But just like going through that, having her support of like checking like, but you just celebrated this and you did this and da, da, da," and it's like, yeah, these things are happening. I don't know why I'm crying right now. So uh that taught me to pay attention to the smaller signs. And that's not to say that if you ever experience an anxiety attack, if I ever experience an anxiety attack, that like something's wrong, because life happens or whatever.
Right.
But that experience taught me, okay, let's pay attention to the smaller parts. um and of course I spoke to my therapist about it, but sometimes it's not easy
Mm-hmm.
confronting someone if they're a part, not the cause of, but like they play a role in causing that burnout or fatigue that you may feel. Like, especially if it's like a partner that you're dating or a family member that you love so much, like telling that person something may be hurtful. even when it comes to canceling plans or not being a part of plans. Like it's been so many times that um, I've pushed to still go out and hang out, like you mentioned before. But last year felt good because I remember I really wanted to go. I forgot what Choice was having something, and I really wanted to go, and I was so burnt out, tired. That you text me and was like, "Girl, where you at?" And I said, "Girl, I forgot to text you. Like I was sleeping, but I really needed that rest." But so, like I'm trying to get over that hump of that guilt that I feel prior to. Like, dang, I
Mhm.
don't want to go. How can I text it? And then when I finally text, it's like, whew, like so much
Mhm.
relief because I know I'm exhausted right now. And yeah, I can still go, but I'm gonna either be putting on a fake face or look like everybody else. Like, dang, why she here with that bad energy? She should have stayed home. Yeah, I should have stayed home because I should
Right.
have.
You right. You exactly right. I'm leaving right now. Mhm.
Yes. So yeah, I just wanted to share that because I do feel like sorry, don't feel like I do know that uh it starts as stress, then it leads to burnout, then it goes to it could be anxiety attacks for some
Mhm.
people, which are all
Absolutely.
signs that something is going not so great. So say again just in case people fast forward it. What do you want to read to the people?
Oh, just causes of burnout, work related, lifestyle, and personality.
Thank you,
So we
girl.
talked about the
Share.
signs and the symptoms in each category. Now we're going to mention some causes that could be of burnout. So, work related, feeling like you have little or no control over your work, lack of recognition or reward for good work, unclear or overly demanding job expectations, doing work that's monotonous or unchallenging, working in a chaotic or high pressure environment. Ooh, if I can't be chaotic, I can relate to that. I've worked in some environments. I'm like, I can't do this. Oh my gosh, this unorganized space. Ooh, Lord Jesus, fix it. Um, Lifestyle causes, working too much without enough time for socializing or relaxing,
Girl.
lack of close, supportive relationships, taking on too many responsibilities without enough help from others, not getting enough sleep. Come on, we're talking about not getting enough sleep now. That's happened to me. It happened to Yaya. We got to get our rest. Okay. All right. Personality traits that contribute to burnout: perfectionistic tendencies. Nothing is ever good enough. Pessimistic view of yourself and the world. The need to be in control. Reluctance to delegate to others. High achieving type A personality.
Mm,
Mm.
dang. You just spoke to my zodiac. Oh my gosh. The perfectionism, the difficulty in delegating, not trusting people to get the work done that like you can. It's so hard, bro.
Yes, and I can
So hard.
also see too that it's saying, as far as approaching, to be able to when you're dealing with burnout, there's three R's: recognize it, reverse, and resilience. So watch for the warning signs of burnout, so you're recognizing. Then reversing, you're undoing the damage by seeking support and managing the stress. Like, what can you do to change how you're starting to have this burnout? Do you need to be honest at work? Like, hey, this is much of a workload. Can we extend the deadline? Can I have
Yeah.
somebody help me with this? Whether it's personal, like, hey, I know I said I was going to do this, but I cannot. I am unable. Or just, saying no to that invitation, like taking time for yourself. Yes, you want to socialize, but you also have to have some me time as well. And
In
then
your pockets.
and then the resilience piece is build your resilience to stress by taking care of your physical and emotional health. Doing what you need to do for you, because you can't pour into others if you ain't got nothing in your cup. Come on now. You got to make sure that you are taking care of you. So recognize it, reverse it by seeking support and managing the stress, and build the resilience by taking care of your physical and emotional health. Not to say that you won't ever be burnt out, but if you're able to recognize it and manage it, then you better be able to help yourself and have it less, have
Yes.
less burnout.
And use
Hmm.
your PTO to take those naps.
Yes, come on, PTO. Prepare the others. That is what it's for. They know what they need to do while you out. That place not gonna burn down without you. You can take a couple of days off. When's the last time you took a vacation? When's the last time you actually took a vacation or took a day off to do nothing? You can
Right.
use your PTO for a mental health day. That's a real
That's
thing.
the thing. Yeah. Like
Even though it might not be categorized as mental health day, just say PTO. You can use your PTO for whatever you want to use it for. They can't ask you what you're
Personal.
using your PTO for. It's my personal time. It's my me time. It's what I need to do for me, whether it's taking care of your kids, whether you got a doctor's appointment, or you just want to stay at home in bed and binge watch your TV show because you ain't had no me time in a long time. I'm just saying. It's your PTO, boo boo. Do what you want to do.
Well, I want to add, like, even with the vacation and those other things too, the highlight of what I'm saying here is using that to just stay home and relax. And
Mm-hmm.
like a lot of people do other things and then you're back to work, but then you're still burnt out. When did you actually sit down and rest? Going on vacation, going to do things, taking your kids to the doctor's office, all those things, it's still work. Even though you're not getting a check at the end of it, you're still working, you're still using your body, your brain, all these things. Take time to just sit, just relax, just binge watch TV, read a book, sleep, sit in the tub, whatever it is that means relaxation for you.
Yes,
Actually
I'll,
put
I'll
that
sit in the
in.
tub instantly. I love a bath bomb. Anybody want to gift me something?
Oh my gosh. Is there anything else you wanted to read or share?
No, that's the last part I wanted to add to make sure that people knew the three R's. Okay,
Okay.
recognize, recover, and
And eat butter.
resilience, and eat butter. Not too much butter because we taking care of our health. Remember.
Right. So, speaking of taking care of, we want to make sure that we love and take care of our friends and our family members. So, you don't want to be selfish and not say anything when you notice that Simone has been being a meanie. So, how do you how do you let the other people in your life know that you've been noticing some signs of burnout? Peter Piper? No, okay. Yeah, because I don't want to run off and assume, oh, my joke was dry, or oh, that person not feeling me today. Like, let me ask a question, and then also you don't seem like the self that I'm used to seeing. So let's see what's going on with that. I would say for me, uh, at work it's a little bit more difficult because the whole HR thing of not getting into people's personal business. And I'll say, but I'll lead it with, I'm not trying to ask about your personal business, but is everything okay? Like, you seem a little off. Do you need a moment to put your head down? Like, we close this door. I ain't gonna tell nobody you're taking a nap real quick. But like, what's going on? Maybe you need to go for a walk because we deal with clients. So like, if I can notice that you seem like you just like this blank face, like you don't really give up today, or you're not feeling it today, you're tired, whatever, the client's gonna pick up on it too. Your
Mm-hmm.
work is gonna pick up on it too. Your
Yeah.
work is not gonna be as great today, as it typically is. Um, and with that, with work and with personal too, I try to lend a helping hand. And it's funny because I don't take helping hands. Like I like to do things by myself. And even if I
Mm.
need help, I won't say that I need help. It takes a lot. Like when I do ask for help, like even with talking with Moni about podcasting, like it's a lot for me to go to Brooklyn and do all these things, and by the time I come back, my day is gone, and like, or it's a lot to go during the week, or like whatever the case may be. So I have to like sit down with myself. How do I tell her this without saying I hate? Like I don't hate the podcast. It's just the price. The process becomes a place for me that is like I feel like I'm stressing out, and I don't want to stress about something that I love. So sharing with Moni, how can we help each other to make it smoother for both of us?
It's tell them, but honestly, I've had some very hard conversations with some people who were not ready to recognize that there was something about them that was negatively different, which was affecting those around them. But it was still important to be honest. Um, and it was also a matter of I'm not the only person that feels this way. Who else has also told you this information? Like who this is if you keep hearing the same thing and you have this repeated pattern, there has to be something about it. Can't be everybody else all the time. At some
Yeah,
point you're gonna have to recognize what's happening with you and address it. Um but sometimes people are just not willing to hear it initially. Sometimes they just got to keep going through what they're going through or keep bumping their head until they realize, like, you know what, I have been
I just had to do that.
treating people um, in a way that I should not have because of how I was feeling. Because at a certain point, you just keep saying, oh, this is the way I am. No, it's not the way
Oh,
you are.
I hate when people say that. This is how they
It's
are.
not just the way that you
What
are.
about
Grow
how I
out of
am?
that. Grow out of that. So it's just a matter of just having a conversation. I feel like that's the only way that I can go about it personally. You just got to talk to them. So sometimes it take me a minute. 'Cause I'm like, ooh, especially if you
How do
know
I
how
say
the
it?
person, if you know how the person is, it just be like, I don't want to have this conversation, but I need to have this conversation.
Yeah. I want to say one thing and then answer the question myself. I forgot to say, uh, for how do I combat my burnout? I like to listen to sound baths. I turn on like the Calm app, Insight Timer, YouTube, different things to help bring myself down, especially before sleep. Because
Mm.
remember, I said the driving dream that I have when I'm out of control of things. So when I leave that on while I'm sleeping, I notice that I'm dreaming about me being a girlfriend or having like a mess, like princess or something dream. But anyway, yeah, those, self care, meditation, sage, going for a walk, different things to get my mind out of the frenzy that it feels like it's in. When I notice that other people in my life are burnt out, I say something about it or I ask questions just to dig deeper about it. Like I notice Moni keeps saying she's so tired, she's so tired, she's so tired. Okay, are you like, just like ask questions of what's been different about your schedule, or why do you feel so tired, or like what's going on with you that you feel this way, or why do you feel angry, like just checking in. Have you had water? When's the last time you ate? Just checking in to ask questions. If it's like the attitude thing, sometimes I may still ask those same questions, like, are you tired? Like you coming off a little
Did
different,
you
like,
eat?
did you eat? Or what's wrong? Like you seem like you're not yourself. Sometimes it's the opposite. That person may be really, really quiet when they're usually talkative, or
Hmm.
they have like a sad face. Not the rest in bitch face, but like just they seem down or they seem like they're in their thoughts. And I'm over here being chipper, goofy old Yaya, and you just like you're not laughing at my. Are you okay? Like you want to talk about something?
Oh, that joke just wasn't funny.
Yeah, but I need to know. Like, did you hear my joke? Felt good. So for me, it's harder to help. But for other people, I'm like, you want me to help you do dishes? Or do you want to, do you need my ear? Do you need my hands? Like, what is it that I can do to help you feel better? Do you, like, how can I be of service for you so you don't seem burnt out? Because now your burnt out energy is kind of interrupting my happiness right now. And I need to help you so that can, uh, on the other end, help me too. Because I don't want to feel this stinky vibe
Right.
like coming down.
Yeah. And before we move on to the next segment, I just want to add just how like you and I we have each other like outside of our workspaces to actually like have conversations about like what's going on. I feel like it's important because everybody may not have this like somebody at work that you can connect with when you're having those moments, or at least somebody that you trusted to know, like when they know you not in like your right state of mind, it's okay for them to come up to you and ask you like, hey, are you okay? I noticed XYZ. I
Yeah.
feel I've been in work environments where I've had a space where I had somebody that I can talk to, and it made me feel so much better to be able to not feel like I was dumping on them, but I
Hmm.
had a safe space at work that with someone that I trusted to be like, this is what's going on. So just in case you notice XYZ about my performance, this is why. Opposed to me feeling as if I don't have anybody to talk to and now it just looks like I'm not doing my job. There's specific reasons for it, but I don't feel comfortable telling you that because I don't feel
Hmm.
like that relationship has been solidified in the
Established.
workplace, you know? Um, Not sure how those relationships can be built, but I do think it's very, very important to have at least one
Yeah.
person in the workplace that you trust to be vulnerable with so that they able to recognize somebody that you can check in with to make sure that you good, you make sure that they good. Because sometimes in the workplace it becomes a little more difficult to build those relationships if you're not genuinely connecting with anybody.
Yeah. I think the difficulty in that is the trust, because people can flip flop and turn on you in a second. And the things that you told them, it
Mm-hmm.
can turn into, oh, well, Unique said this work is too much. She don't really know what she's doing. Opposed to, no, I said I was going through a breakup and this work at that moment. Like people change your words or manipulate your words whenever they aren't your work friend anymore.
Right.
But I think that's really a good highlight that you shared, because I can I can talk about work all I want with people, friends, and it's great support, but we all do different types of work. So sometimes I found myself in conversations with people saying that work was stressful, it was too much, and like I remember this guy was like, "Well, how's it stressful? All you do is sit at the work all day. All you do is push paper." And it's like,
Excuse me.
at that time, I was substitute teaching. It's like, no, I had to take the kids to this class and that class and then recess, and I only had 5 minutes to eat by the time I did this. It's like so much. Or even now, when talking with people about like feeling stressed or burnt out, sometimes I forget. But like when I have friends who understand my work, or when I have people who work with me, obviously they understand the work. Well, dang, you did just have a client that expressed suicidal ideation, or you did just do like 50 notes back to back. Like that's why you feel tired. Opposed to like I tell myself, yeah, I sat at the desk all day. Why am I so tired? And then they remind me that's why you're so tired. So in that relation to what you were just sharing, in that perspective of what you were just sharing, having somebody who understands what you're doing because they're doing the same job too
Hmm.
can like help to, you know, have that conversation opposed to just somebody just listening like, dang girl, and then what? Then you gotta explain work all over again.
Right.
And then that's- ugh. But yeah, thanks for sharing that.
Yeah,
But that was a
absolutely.
good topic. Thanks for coming up with that topic about
Yes, bro,
burnout.
because it's relatable. And some people don't even realize when they are being burnt out, they mix it with stress or, don't know how to cope with when they are burnt out. So I hope that this information that y'all received today was very helpful, and that the next time that you are experiencing any burnout symptom, that you are able to recognize the signs, and that you are able to manage that stress a little better and put some more love into you. Okay.
Yeah. Take a breath, take a break, step back, look at what's going on, do some Googling, talk to people and figure out what those signs are and figure out what your coping mechanisms would be. What can make you feel better or help you feel better? What do you need to do to get your SHIT together so that you don't
Hmm.
feel that stress or that burnout or whatever the case may be? You don't have
Absolutely.
to push yourself. Take a break.
You do
It's
not have
okay.
to push yourself. Give yourself grace and take a break.
Yes, Grace. Gracie's Corner.
And with that, we are wrapping up this here segment and heading on over into dorm stories. Gotta get some sound effects going on up in here. Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario? In today's dorm story segment, we're going to be sharing someone's personal story from youngminds.org about their situation with burnout, how they dealt with it, and a little bit of advice for anyone that has been going through it. So let me just go ahead and jump right on. What do you think of when you hear the word burnout? Some may associate it with feeling tired or stressed, which to some extent is true, but that only tells half the story. Burnout is something that builds up over time as a result of prolonged stress and feelings of being overwhelmed, drained, and unable to cope. It's something I have experienced before, so I hope that I can offer some tips on how to avoid it. I'm the type of person that likes to put the maximum amount of effort into everything that I do. I'm sure a lot of you can relate to this. There was a time in my life where I was desperately trying to put an equal amount of effort into my studies, work, family, social life, and hobbies. Just typing out that list sounds exhausting to me now. I'm confident that many of you can predict the feelings that came along with trying to focus on all of those things at once. Yep, complete exhaustion, aka burnout. As a result of trying to juggle too many things, I felt emotionally and physically drained. Suddenly, the joy in my life seemed to disappear. I struggled to find enjoyment or purpose in what I was doing and thought that if I couldn't put my full effort into each area of my life, then I must be failing. During this time, there were many tears and feelings of hopelessness. I thought that I would have to give up aspects of my life that I loved. If you're experiencing burnout, it can be extremely difficult to reach out for help. For me, I struggled to talk about how I was feeling as I felt as though I just wasn't able to manage life's daily struggles like everybody else. I felt like an outsider looking in. Everybody else was able to successfully manage their work life balance, so why was I struggling to do this? I reached a point where I couldn't go on internalizing my feelings for much longer. Luckily, I was able to speak to my family and friends about how I was feeling. After talking about it, I quickly came to the realization that I had been forgetting one crucial life skill: prioritizing. The act of prioritizing appears simple, but actually putting the skill into practice for me proved very difficult. I need to remind myself that I'm not superwoman. I can't give 100% to every area of my life at the same time. It's impossible. To begin my journey to overcome burnout, I created a physical list of my priorities. Each morning, I would review or edit my list to remind myself of the aspect that I needed to fully focus on that day. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that it was easy to push other areas to the side. However, for my own mental and physical health, I needed to realize that prioritizing was the only way that I would recover from burnout. Like everybody, I have good days and bad days. Sometimes I let life stresses get the better of me, but my mental and physical health have improved so much since I started to prioritize. Now I don't worry too much if I don't get everything done on my list. The reason that I don't worry is because you've guessed it, I prioritize my tasks. It's important to remember that your priorities don't have to be work related or productive. Some days I prioritize self care and focusing on checking in with myself. I think that's the biggest tip that I can give you. Check in with yourself. Try to reflect upon how you're feeling. Are you trying to juggle too many things at once? You're not a failure. Nobody is perfect. Stop, reflect, and prioritize.
Y'all, this is a new platform. I was trying to figure out how to turn my mic back on. Oh my goodness. That was really good. And it sounded like I was listening to myself a little bit
hmm
because uh I noticed that when I did that, I don't always do it, but when I do that, like a priority list, specifically for work, I feel more at ease.
hmm
I get really anxious that my director notices it and some other people in my life notices it. But I had to tell this to a coworker because that coworker, you'll see it on their face that they like just look over it, that they can't handle anything or whatever. And I'm like, I love my life to be very organized. That's the Virgo in me. Um, but I also have the Libra part where things have to be balanced. So if my bedroom looks a mess, or my car is out of whack, or whatever else is going on, that interferes with my work life too. So I was just speaking with the that coworker and letting them know, like, maybe you should try this list out. So it's kind of cool hearing that this person who wrote this letter or blog um, it felt the same way too. Basically, it kind of contribute. It's kind of sorry. It connects to having a big goal and then doing smaller
Breaking it
goals.
down.
And I said, like, even though you have a shitload of stuff to do, just knowing that, oh, I got to check off one, two, three things out of the day, opposed to not having a written list and saying, fuck, I still didn't do da, 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 da. But it feels good to have that list. And then personal life too, I had like this expo marker board calendar on my wall,
hmm
and it's my gym marker. So without that, I'm like, dang, I ain't really work out that much. I don't feel anything or whatever. But when I look on, I'm like, oh, I got 4 marks. I went to the gym 4 times this week. Yeah, that feels so good. So sometimes visuals do help, but I love that she shared how that has assisted her because it's relatable, is what I'm
hmm
saying.
Yes, absolutely. And I can definitely tell a difference in my life from when I do prioritize things and I just do things all willy nilly. Like, let me just try to see what I could do. I get more things done when I'm checking it off. And when I tell you, when I check something off, oh, I feel so good. I'm like, oh, look at all this stuff I got done today. When I just sat there and I focused on what I needed to do, because sometimes I am very guilty of, I've been at work and tried to do personal things while I was at work, which took time away from what I could have been doing
Yeah,
that was prioritized for work.
yeah,
So I've definitely broken that habit completely because it didn't do anything but hinder me. And I just make sure I prioritize whatever certain things I need to do in the morning before I go to work. If it's something that I can prioritize while I'm commuting to work, if it's something that I can prioritize by the time I get back home. Because even just as small as me doing my little 15 minutes a day on Duolingo, I do that on my way to work and I do it on my way home from work because I have that, I'm able to balance that while I'm commuting. Or even the same thing with reading. When I go to the wash house, I read a book, or before I go to bed, I try to throw in some pages. So it's just a matter of like we were saying before, when you're trying to reach those big goals, just taking those small ones and prioritizing them in different places. So I'm just like, I check things off my list daily. My planner, I cannot live without a planner. I've tried to go without a planner and my life felt like a wreck. Okay, I have to make sure everything in my life has a place of when I'm doing it, and I check it off. I have to wash
Yeah.
clothes. I need to go grocery shopping. I'm going to meal prep. I'm going to go to this lesson. I'm going to read this day. I'm going to go to the gym these days. As
You
long as
want to
you
take a nap?
right, that just happens. I don't prioritize the nap. The nap come when it want a nap. Okay, but yes, prioritizing and making sure I definitely prioritize my self care time, because that's more something else I'm trying to be more intentional about, is making sure that I make time for me. Like, I
Yeah.
never actually wrote it down. I was like, oh, I guess I'm gonna take a bath today. Like, no, I'm gonna actually write it down. Like, this time is blocked out for me and only me. That's it. So I'm gonna actually be more intentional with that and blocking it out.
Okay, girl.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
what works for you is the lesson from that.
Absolutely.
Oh my God. We can now move on to our next segment, which is
The community news. It's time for announcements. It's time for announcements. It's time for announcements. It's time for announcements.
yeah. Moni got the songs. I need to write my songs for the next episode.
She had months to prepare, y'all, and she still ain't come up with nothing. That
Ooh,
sounds
I
like a
started.
personal problem.
It is. But so today is March 1st. That means in 2 days, my best friend is going to be a day older, which means she's going to be having a birthday. She's going to be turning whatever business she's going to be turning. So,
I ain't ashamed of my age. This year, I'm going to be 34. Okay,
well, they might be
March
listening to
3rd.
this. They might be listening to this in 2025.
Well, if they are, that's why they need to know that this year I am going to be turning 34 on Sunday, March
Yeah.
3rd, 2024. Okay.
Yes. So to celebrate her birthday, we are offering a discount of 30% off only on March 3rd. So hopefully
Only.
you're listening to this on the day it drops so that you can, or maybe following our Instagram so that you can be up on the know so you can get that discount.
Get right, get to that website.
Yes.
LoveLoudd.com. You get
Yes.
the extra D, you're gonna go somewhere else.
Right. It will. It will.
All right, y'all. It is March. It is March. Aside from it being the best month ever, it is also Women's History Month. So shout out to all the women doing all the things. Okay. Shout out to us. Shout out to the women in healthcare, the women in finance, the women in business, the women that are teachers, just women all over the
The women in
world
the
doing the
world,
damn thing.
the women
Okay.
on Earth, the alien women, all the
Right.
monster
The
women,
mothers,
bug
the
women.
mothers, the aunties, the
Yes.
aunties, okay, doing the thing. Shout out to
Yes.
all of the women who do the damn thing every single day. This is a month to celebrate us.
Celebrate. Follow us on social media if you aren't already. We are on Facebook. We are also on Instagram. Maybe by the time you listen to this, we worked on our TikTok better, but we do have a TikTok. We just gotta work on that. But we are Love Loud LLC. That's LoveLoudd LLC on our social media platforms.
Yes, yes, yes. And when you are on those social media platforms, make sure you kindly leave us a review, whether it's you're reviewing this here podcast episode, another podcast episode from seasons 1 through 4, if it's for our poetry books, if it's for a reel that you saw, if it's for one of our merchandise that you purchased on the website, whatever it may be, if you just love our pretty faces, go ahead and leave us a review as a comment on our social media platforms. We love to share our reviews with the world. So once you share a review with us, we'll go ahead and share it again with everybody else.
Yes. And also, she mentioned our website. Our website is www.loveudd.com, where you can find a lot of our blogs that we used to write. You can also find some reviews that other people have shared and we posted onto our website. You can shop Love Loud merchandise. and you can be on the in the know of things that's going on with us. You know, few things that are coming up. So we pay a lot for the domain. So please go www.loveloud.com.
And for those of you who have been rocking with us for a while, you have realized that we transitioned from doing a question of the month to creating a prompt of the month to give everyone an opportunity to dip into their creative bag. So whether the prompt inspires you to write a poem, write a journal entry, write a blog, inspiration for the next story that you are creating, wherever it may be, we are
Hmm.
changing over to the prompt of the month to help you write. And for March, the prompt is to write about a challenge you faced this month and how you overcame it. So it's only March 1st, unless you made a mistake today. But just think about it. Maybe it doesn't even have to be a mistake that you made this month. You know,
It could
it's a
be within
creative
the
writing
last
prompt.
month, which is from February 1st to now.
Or a
However you
mistake
look
that
at it.
you've ever made. We've all made mistakes and we've all learned from them. So go ahead and write about that. And please, please,
Just
please
yay.
share with us. Share on the story. We'll repost it and share with the Love Loud community. We'd love to hear from you and what you are creating with the prompt of the month.
Yes, and with the airplane loud outside, wraps up our
Yes.
first episode of our fifth season of
Woo.
Truth Carpet Podcast with Yaskis and Moni. But we introduced ourselves as Simone and Unique earlier, but
We did.
you know, we got a lot of
We got
names.
5 on it for season 5.
Oh, look at
Yes.
you copying off of your uncle. Well, anybody from the West Coast, I'll say that's Simone uncle, Moni uncle. Well, we're back to it. I'm very
Yes.
excited about this season. We have a good lineup of people that we are looking forward to speaking with during this
Super
season.
exciting.
We have some poets lined up. We're looking forward to meeting some new poets
Whoop whoop.
this year to have them on our podcast, because last year it was mostly myself and Moni sharing, but we want to get this is our open mic. Our Sweet 223 is our open mic, so we want to have people share whether you can make it to the event today or years later you'll hear their poetry on our podcast. And I'm really, really excited for the things that we produced so far, the things that we have lined up. Speaking of that, I'm about to do some follow up emails to people. But I'm really, really excited. I'm really,
Yes.
really, 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 really excited about this
Same,
season.
same, 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 same. Cannot wait for y'all to see what we have in store for y'all. But with all that being said, we will be back in your ear in 2 weeks, y'all. It's still every 2 weeks.
Yeah,
We haven't changed the schedule on y'all. We still busy. We still got 4-time jobs and live. So
right.
every 2 weeks.
Yes. Thank you for listening. Stay black.
Stay proud. And until next time. Until next time.
Until 2 weeks. Until 2 weeks. We're gonna have a guest on that podcast, right?
Yep, we're gonna have a guest on that one. So stay tuned for episode 2.
Yes.